Good day, ma'am. I'm Genji Alcion, one of the reporter of Group 8. So our topic is all about the United Nations and contemporary global governance. So my assigned topic is all about the introduction. Although many international like Bitham and Kant maging the possibility of global governance. So then the United Nations is very important to us because without the United Nations, kasi yung United Nations sila yung namumuno ng NGO. Gumawa sila ng batas para maiwasan ang pagpanakop ng mga territory or yung mga boundary. Example na lang natin dito sa Pilipinas at China Sea. Kung hindi nagkaroon ng magandang relationship, siguro nagkaroon na ng pag-aaway yung dalawang bansa sa pagitan ng mga territory. Just like the Russia and the Ukraine. Dahil hindi sila nagkasundo, nagkaroon ng World War III. So kaya mahalaga sa atin ang contemporary global governance para maiwasan ang conflict ng bawat bansa at magkaroon ng matiwasay na relationship. So there are many sources of global governance: state, sign, treaties, and form of organization in the process of legislating public in international law. International non-government organization, NGOs, can lobby individual state behave in a certain way despite not having formal state power. Powerful transnational corporation can likewise have tremendous effect on global labor laws, environmental legislation, trade, or etc. Even ideas such as the need for global democracy or the claim or for good government. So all land can need democracy for her territory to avoiding conflict in other country. That's all. Thank you, ma'am.
So what is an international organization? An international organization is that includes members from more than one nation. Some international organizations are very large. So example of international organization is the UN or the United Nations and the World Bank. When scholars refer to groups like UN or institutions like the IMF and the World Bank, they usually call them international organizations. Organizations or the IOS, although international NGOs are sometimes considered as IOS, the term is commonly used to refer to international intergovernmental organizations or groups that are primarily made up of member or states. One major fallacy about international organizations is that they are merely amalgamations or various states' interests. In the 1960s and 1970s, many scholars believed that international organizations were just venues where the contradicting but sometimes intersecting agendas of countries were discussed. No more than talk shops, what has become more evident in recent years. However, is that international organizations can take on lives of their own. So, isa sa pangunahing kamalian ng international organizations ay ang pag-iisa nila or they collaborate the different states of interest. And many students believe that IOS or the international are just a venue kung saan pinag-uusapan ang magkasalungat at magkasalubong ng mga agenda ng iba't ibang lugar. International relations scholars Michael N. Barrett and Martha find more listed the following powers of international organizations. First, the international organizations have the power of classification because it can invent and apply categories. They create powerful global standards. Example, it is the UN, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, that defines what refugee is and since states are required to accept refugees entering the borders. This power is to establish, identify, has concrete effects. Second, international organizations have the power to fix meanings, which is broader function related to the first. Various terms like security or development need to be well defined. The meaning created by international organizations have effects on various policies because states, organizations, and individuals view it as legitimate source of information. Example, the UN has started to define security as not just safety from military violence, but also safety from environmental harm. And finally, the international organizations have the power to diffuse norms. Their power to diffuse norms stems from the fact that international organizations are staffed with independent bureaucracies or who are considered experts in various fields. Example, the World Bank economists come to be regarded as experts in developing industry, some form of authority. They can therefore create norms regarding implementations and conceptualizations of development projects. Because of these immense powers, the international organizations can be sources of great and good and great harm. They can promote relevant norms like environmental protection and human rights. However, they can also become shield of communities that fail to challenge their beliefs. Example, the Nobel Prize winning economist Joseph Stiglitz famously criticized the IMF for using one-size-fits-all approach when its economists made recommendations to developing countries.
Good evening, everyone. My topic is all about United Nations. The United Nations is an international organization founded in 1945, currently made up of 193 member states. The United Nations and its work are guided by the purposes and principles contained in its founding character. The United Nations has evolved over the years to keep pace with a rapidly changing world. What is United Nations and how it works? The United Nations is an intergovernmental organization whose stated purposes are to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relations among nations, achieve international cooperation, and be a century for harmonizing the actions of nations. What are the four main purposes of the United Nations? Maintain international peace and security, protect human rights, deliver humanitarian aid, support sustainable development and climate action.
Good morning to each and everyone. By the way, my name is Rian B. Sambuto, and today I will discuss about conclusion. Conclusion. Global governance is such a complex issue that one can actually teach an entire course in itself. This lesson has focused on the TENS and the United Nations in particular. International organizations are highlighted because they are the most visible symbols of global governance. The UN, in particular, is the closest to a world government. What is important to remember is that international institutions like the UN are always in a precarious position. On the one hand, there are groups of sovereign states. On the other, they are organizations with their own rationalities and agendas. Thank you.